The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
Episode of the Choke Slam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One from New York City, and today we're going to have two topics, actually one topic, with two former wrestlers of big names that were in the scene in 2019, and then when 2020 came around, they disappeared, and now they're trying to make their names back into the wrestling scene. So a situation happened between Tony Khan and some of his wrestlers that were being pulled out from a charity event. And the crazy part is that this charity event was sponsored by Bar Wrestling. Now, if you guys don't know who Bar Wrestling is, and the owner of Bar Wrestling is Joey Ryan. Now, you know the history with Joey Ryan. And Joey Ryan with, his penis thing and his stupid gimmick that he had for years, which came back to bite him in the ass. So, if I can give you a little history of this guy, when I first saw Joey Ryan, and like I said, I was not ever a big fan of Joey Ryan, never was. I think he was just a wrestler with a stupid gimmick and whatnot. When I first saw Joey Ryan was back in the early, maybe 2009, 2010, when TNA had this concept called Gut Check. And Joey Ryan made his debut in Gut Check. And I think he won the damn thing. I'm not sure, but he started feuding with Taz. And the minute I saw him coming in the ring with his glasses, his big fat mustache, with a lollipop in his mouth, he reminded me of a porno guy and whatnot. Some shit you see in Porn Star or Pornhub, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and the minute I saw him, I said, who is this guy? This guy just rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like his gimmick. Thinks it's inappropriate in wrestling. And pretty much after that, I didn't see him. Years passed and whatnot. And then next thing you know, I remember when All Elite started recruiting all these independent wrestlers. They went to Bar Wrestling. And in Bar Wrestling, of course, who was there? He was the owner of Bar Wrestling. And it was no other than Joey Ryan. He was in the damn BTE in the beginning stages. And he made his debut in All In, where a bunch of droids or whatever, penis druids, all over the stage like The Undertaker, and him and Hangman Page had some stupid storyline where who had the biggest penis and who had the strongest penis, which was, to me, I was like, okay, now they're going over the borderline and just plain stupid, which didn't make no damn sense. So this is what Joey Ryan bringing to the table. Somewhere in the summer of last year, the Speak Out movement came. And there were wrestlers being accused of either sexually assault or attacking their girlfriends or doing stuff. Most notable guys, Matt Riddle was one of them. Apparently he has right now a lawsuit against him and WWE for being in the back of a car with another, I think, a female wrestler, and his attempt to sexually assault her, which I think to me is like kind of questionable because supposedly there were two other wrestlers in the car. But it is what it is. So Matt Riddle is dealing with that. And another wrestler, I forgot his name. It doesn't come into my. I think his last name was Starr. I forgot his name, but he quit wrestling completely. He quit wrestling after being accused by his girlfriend. A guy had almost 4 years worth of text messages from his girlfriend, or she had 4 years worth of text messages of stuff that he was doing behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? So here it goes. Next thing you know, Joey Ryan gets accused of doing the same thing. Now, many of you are saying, well, there's no proof. Well, there's a lawsuit against him. I mean, I remember he made a statement and he disappeared for months. 4 months, right? So all of a sudden he made his way back into the media scene sometime, I think it was in December or January, where he claimed that there was the lawsuit was not valid, some bullcrap like that to that effect. But here he is doing a charity event. Now I'm gonna read you what the charity event was, and this was on Fightful Select of this week. And Tony Khan ended up pulling his wrestlers out of this charity event. Tony Khan has publicly announced that he's pulling his wrestlers from a charity event that was revealed to be associated with Joey Ryan. That during the Speak Out movement during the summer, Joey Ryan was accused of multiple instances of sexual assault. Since then, Joey Ryan has not appeared in anything related to professional wrestling. And then recently, he showed surfing on the promotional banner of Wrestling for Women's Charity. And on the poster for this event named as David Boy Smith, Molly Holly, Trey Miguel, Carlito, and AEW wrestler Brian Casey, Sonny Kiss were among them to appear. Upon learning that Joey Ryan was on the poster, the balls, I say it was a ball, for this event as well, and his promotion, Bar Wrestling, was involved with promoting the event, Tony Khan promptly pulled his wrestler from the show. And Tony Khan has sent a tweet out on March 2nd, which was Tuesday: if Joey Ryan is dead, my people won't be there, and I'll gladly donate to the charity. So he was willing to donate to the charity anyway. Other wrestlers have also publicly backed out following the review that Joey Ryan was responsible in part of this event. Ryan Satin, which I do not agree with this WWE Shield dumbass, I call him. The nerve of booking Joey Ryan on a show billed as being Wrestling for Women's Charity. Wow. A new low in professional wrestling. Congrats. I have to agree with him because that's a new low. Bar Wrestling is apparently booking the show. Yeah. Somebody, Ronda Rousey, also wrote. So the contact and for this info, it says owner Bar Wrestling, BPT since the May 3rd, 2017, Wrestling for Women's Charity. So Bar Wrestling was the contact. And Tony Khan ended up pulling the wrestlers. At the end, they canceled the event. Joey Ryan, the nerve of him to even has his picture and Bar Wrestling, which he owns, trying to get the money for this charity event. You know that charity event money probably was not even going to no Woman for Wrestling. That's probably to pay his legal fees that he's going through in his battle with the lawsuit. That multiple, it's not just one, multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. And honestly, I believe it. I'm sorry, your people say I'm judging, but come on, this is the same guy. They used to have wrestlers grab his penis, and while he flips them with his penis. That was his gimmick. That was his gimmick. And another guy, they popped out of nowhere, which I personally was one of my favorites. I have his shirt. I took pictures with him. Is the villain Marty Scurll. Apparently, Marty Scurll's been posting, and this is one of the things that I started noticing. He was posting on Instagram, but wasn't putting no comment or title on his pictures on Instagram. So I said to myself, maybe is he coming back? And who is crazy enough to sign this guy who was part of that Speak Out movement that happened in June? In his case, he had sex with a 15 or 16-year-old girl in 2015. He claimed it was consent. He was older than the chick. So it's not really consent because you're taking advantage of a child at the end of the day. And he made a couple of statements. He was hot, real hot in 2020, beginning of 2020. He was the booker for Ring of Honor. He signed a big contract with Ring of Honor, a 2-year deal. He was the one setting up the Ring of Honor what was it? Oh my God, the name I forgot. The name is not coming up, but he was signing New Japan wrestlers to come in uh, for the weekend of WrestleMania last year, and then all of a sudden that stopped, of course, as we know, the coronavirus, and then all of a sudden he ended up being a part of this whole scandal, same scandal that Joey Ryan was, and supposedly he reached out to New Japan wanting to work with New Japan. New Japan Strong, which does some tapings up in LA, brought him in. Apparently, they didn't tell the roster they were supposed to do those tapings in LA. He just showed up. Apparently, there was going to be some. The plan was the angle, him coming in a match where Rocky Romero was part of it, and he was going to come in, and he was going to do some type of angle, whatever. And now they never recorded the angle. Actually, they recorded, but it never made it TV. And it comes to find out that the roster did not know he was coming in, and had they known that he was working, they would have not came into the table. This is how bad this situation is. Marty Scurll, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers that I used to like watching. I didn't mind watching his matches. He was technically sound in that ring. But the past came and bite him in his ass. Now, there was word that WWE was interested in bringing him in. Goes to show you that WWE doesn't give a rat's ass about anybody, how they feel or whatever. But let's be realistic. We know they already have Matt Riddle. They're being sued by Matt Riddle's victim. Okay, they got Velveteen Dream still under contract. They covering him. He has not wrestled in God knows how long. I haven't seen him in the NXT. He hasn't even come out in the NXT takeover. Okay, so it goes to show you that a lot of these wrestlers that were part of this movement, shall we say, never recuperated. There was a lot of them. And Marty Scurll, who was part of the Elite, and decided that he did not want to work with AEW, instead resigned 2 more years with Ring of Honor, which at the end, I think the plan was to do what's going on right now with the Forbidden Door. Even though Ring of Honor is not part of that right now, but they still have a working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think the plan was that. Because remember, the logo of the Elite was to change the world. That was the logo, or the saying, the quote. And I think that's the plan they had with him, by him signing 2 years with Ring of Honor. And I personally did a YouTube video a year ago when he got booked as a booker, that I said he was going to bring NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW together, Ring of Honor, everybody together, Impact, all of them to get together for one main goal, and that was to bring professional wrestling and stop this sports entertainment crap. Right? He ended up signing 2 years with Ring of Honor, but now 4 months later, he got caught up with all this Speak Out movement. And I don't think anybody's going to sign him. And even if he comes to WWE, are you going to push him to the limit? And are you going to get backlash? Because New Japan got backlash for this. New Japan was actually going to bring him in. But once they saw the backlash or whatever, New Japan was like, okay, we're not dealing with it. And, and that was probably the only way for him to show up at AEW, because, again, the Forbidden Door is open. New Japan wrestlers could go to AEW. So that would have been a cool stuff if he would have been signed with New Japan. Even though he would have had a black cloud over his head, he would have been AEW. And I don't think anyway, after reading this thing with the Joey Ryan, Tony Khan don't want no part of nonsense that has to do with anything that is in wrestlers' past. This is why I say Tessa Blanchard, or whatever her name, she ain't coming to AEW because of that bull crap with the racism, with the thing with Allison Kay, Black Rose, whatever. I don't think Tessa Blanchard will not be coming to AEW. I doubt that, because Tony Khan, he has a business to run, and he knows that if you bring any negativity to the locker room, a cancer, it's gonna be a problem. Same thing with Ryback. People were talking about right back in my sign with AEW. He was saying that he's going to sign with AEW. He has not said anything afterwards. So who knows if he got a phone call from Tony Khan and said, look, stop saying that you're coming to AEW. You're not signed yet. We never told you. So I see where AEW is coming from. They're trying to have a clean slate. Not that I'm saying that they're going to be perfect, because they won't be perfect. But, I mean, they got to tarnish after the Matt Hardy situation at All Out this past summer, where he fell off the damn scaffold, whatever you want to call it, fell on his head and had a concussion. So, I mean, overall, what I'm looking at is just two individuals trying to get back into the wrestling business and then not allowing them. The wrestling industry is not going to allow this to happen. The fact that Bar Wrestling said that they got in contact with everybody and everybody was told what was going on, even AEW third party, tells you that's a lie. Because you try to cover up and you thought that you're going to put everybody's picture on it, and then you put Joey Ryan in the poster and think that people are not going to remember what happened last year. First of all, wrestling fans do not forget. Okay? And again, Tony Khan, they're going to get back to him, especially if he pulled out Brian Cage, he pulled out Sonny Kiss, and I forgot who's the third person he pulled out. But they pulled out those people. He was not going to put his wrestlers, his company in the middle of this, what I call clusterfuck, from Joey Ryan and his people. Okay? So basically, what I'm trying to say, Joey Ryan's career, it's over. He will never wrestle again. The same thing will be with Marty Scurll. If he shows up, where is he going to show up? I think the rumor that was going around was that WWE was interested in bringing him. Are they going to be that stupid to bring that black guy when you already have a situation with Matt Riddle that you being sued? Are you going to bring it to WWE now? Have two guys. You already got two guys already. Because Velveteen Dream, let's be realistic, Velveteen Dream got accused twice. Okay, he got accused in May of 2020, and then a month later, this thing back, speaking out movement, and there were more accusations, and WWE didn't do anything. They claimed that there was nothing to see, but you never got in contact with the victim. So basically, Triple H is a liar. This is why I don't care about WWE. I don't care about AAA. I don't care about Vince McMahon, because they all a bunch of liars. They cover up a lot of stuff. They're grimy, and right now, that door, the forbidden door, like Tony Khan said he's the captain of, was broken down by the Big Show. Okay, the forbidden door is wide open. Okay, and showing that a lot of wrestlers are not happy. Nakamura's not happy. So is Buddy Murphy, and God knows how many people. But we're not talking about WWE and who's not happy. The fact is that you have wrestlers right now trying to get back into the business when they already been accused of sexual misconduct or sexual assault or whatever the case may be. Matt Riddle got lucky. Let's put it that way. He got lucky because he already was signed with WWE in the NXT brand. Same thing with Velveteen Dream. He was signed with NXT, so they don't want to make a big thing out of it. They don't want a black cloud over it. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna send him out, talking about Velveteen Dream, and then they're gonna let him go. The same thing with Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan, it was another one who was, getting contact and sending explicit pictures to a yoga instructor who was married. Okay, the guy has problems. Finally, WWE had enough of him because he missed tapings. They let him go. Velveteen Dream right now has a gag in his mouth, put it that way. He's not saying nothing. He's not complaining about nothing. He's getting paid for staying home. And that is a situation right now in the wrestling. This is why a lot of fans like those stupid gimmicks, especially with the Joey Ryan gimmick. They thought that shit was cool. Oh, he had a lot of fans. And I found it very repulsive. I found it not stupid. I found it they're not supposed to be part of wrestling. But everybody was doing this. Everybody. And they thought it was cool. And they thought it was a cool gimmick. A guy who makes you grab his joint, his penis, and try to twist you over. Really? How stupid can it be? So, anyway, that is it for me for today. I just wanted to bring you this Friday round of wrestling. Very interesting situation. I felt that I needed to change it up. Every week I'm talking about WWE. People don't care to, I guess, listen to the video anymore about WWE because everybody knows what's WWE about. So I wanted to change it up. Yes, I talked a little bit about WWE, but it's not much. But the main title for this was how Joey Ryan and Marty Scurll are trying to get back into professional wrestling after they've been accused of sexual misconduct or sexual abuse, whatever the case may be. So, also, guys, if you want to follow me in social media, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, I have an audio podcast available on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and many other major platforms that are podcasts that you guys like to listen to your shows. You can check that out every Sunday, every Thursday. I drop episodes on it, so you guys can check it. I just dropped one yesterday, the AEW Dynamite Review Go Home show. I do that every Thursday. I do a review on AEW Dynamite, and then I give you some wrestling news, rumors, and stuff that's going on. So check that out. You can also check out my merchandise, the podcast merchandise website. It's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. Again, that's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. This is just a beginning merchandise, but I already got shirts in there. I got one shirt that says Body Slammer with a Chokeslam Wrestling logo on it. I got another shirt called Ding 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 with a bell ring in the back. You have the Chokeslam Wrestling Report logo in the back. And then I have the regular, the flagship, should I say, of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report logo on the front. That one is $20. The Body Slammer and the Ding 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 is $25. And then you have the snapback baseball cap with the Chokeslam Wrestling Report logo in the front, all black. So that's $25. So you guys can check it out. Share this video with your friends. Hit that notification bell. Subscribe to my channel. I want to thank also those subscribers who already have subscribed to this channel and listens to my video. So continue supporting. I will do the same to anybody who is a podcaster who has a channel. I support everybody the same as well as they support me. Big up to Power 4 in UK who decided to keep my YouTube wrestling channel on their streaming outlet. I want to thank you guys out there in the UK. I know I'm getting a lot of buzz out there in the UK. So again, a lot of love from the man from New York City in the United States. Yep, NYC in the place to be. So definitely I want to thank all you guys. So again, guys, keep yourself safe. Wear that mask. Stay 6 feet away from each other. Let's get through this. Hopefully soon you get to see more wrestling. Every venue is getting open and we get over this. So until then, guys, just be safe. May God bless you and keep that mask on.